All right, the 49ers have made a big move. It's really heating up here before the new league year starts at 1 p.m. Pacific time. They have traded with the Texans for a big defensive tackle, one of the better pass rushers in the game, Maliek Collins. It seems that Maliek Collins is going to be Eric Armstead's replacement, but Eric Armstead is still technically on the 49ers roster. If San Francisco does want to post June 1st designate Eric Armstead's release so they can save some cap space here in this 2024 season, they actually have to hold on to Eric Armstead through the start of the new league year, which again is happening at 1 o'clock Pacific time in just under 3 hours. But the big news is the 49ers have traded with the Texans for Maliek Collins, and it's only cost them a 7th round pick. So you combine this with the signing of Jordan Elliott yesterday. Obviously, Javon Kinlaw left the New York Jets. I think it's simple. I think that you're looking at Maliek Collins being Eric Armstead's replacement, and then you're looking at Jordan Elliott being Javon Kinlaw's replacement. The 49ers are building a robust defensive line. Take a look at this. Maliek Collins, number 12 in pass rush win rate. That is ESPN's metric. I can actually put this one up on the screen for you so you have a visualization of the talent that the 49ers are working with and the talent the 49ers likely will not have very soon. But the top 12 of ESPN's pass rush win rate last year, these are guys that win in under 2.5 seconds. That's how it's measured. Javon Hargrave, number 9. Eric Armstead, number 10. Maliek Collins, number 12. All three now with the San Francisco 49ers. Armstead is likely on his way out, but this is shaping up to be a very good line with real depth with Elliott and Yetur Gross-Matos included. Let's go to the 49ers 2024 depth chart. That's the 2023 depth chart. I open up 2024 for you right here. Here we go. Obviously, Teal, those are the new players on the 49ers. We can now pay. Remember yesterday, I left room in that starter spot for I didn't put Jordan Elliott in it. I left room for Eric Armstead's potential replacement. 49ers now have Eric Armstead's potential replacement with Maliek Collins. So there you go. We will customarily shade it in teal. Look at the work that the 49ers have been doing, not only on the defensive line, but in the front seven. This is the most turnover that we've ever seen the 49ers undergo up front under Kyle Shanahan. This is going to be an entirely new look defensive line with the pillars of Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave still there. We expect Eric Armstead to be on his way out, but boy, that is a whole heck of a lot of teal. Bosa, Collins, Hargrave, and as of right now, Leonard Floyd. My next question is Joey Bosa. Do the 49ers go after him? Does he become available? We're in a really dramatic time right now. I hope you guys understand. New league year starts in less than 3 hours. The Chargers are $25 million over the cap. They're going to have to cut somebody to get under the cap. It might not be Bosa or Khalil Mack today, but Bosa and Khalil Mack are both due roster bonuses on Saturday, March 16th. Bosa's is $7 million. If Jim Harbaugh and company do not intend to have Joey Bosa on their roster or Khalil Mack on their roster in the 2024 season, they're going to get rid of them by Saturday. So there's a couple inflection points. The start of the new league year with the Chargers having to cut guys and Saturday. And I'm sure that they're dangling them out there for trades, but I don't think that any other team wants to inherit those contracts, especially Joey Bosa's contract, given the fact that he hasn't been all too available over the past 2 years. He'd be owed $22 million by a new team. So teams would rather have a new contract with these guys. And that means that a release is more likely than not. And if a release happens, well, the 49ers have the family connection, and we can all just sit back and see if that's possible. So the 49ers might not be done along the defensive line yet, but we should be talking about Maliek Collins, whom the 49ers just traded for with the Houston Texans. DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans, a team that has been loading up over the course of this free agency period. As you could see, a whole lot of teal in this part. Eric Kendricks, the linebacker, signed with the 49ers in the middle of the night. Collins has now been traded, only a 7th-round draft pick. The draft compensation update, this is simple. The 49ers had 2 7s this year. We don't know which 7 they sent to Houston, but they'll now only have 1 7, and they go from 11 draft picks to 10. It was going to be really hard for 11 guys from the draft to make this 49ers 53-man roster. They currently have 45 projected to make the 53. This is my projection. So they currently have 8 spots left. So I wouldn't be surprised that the 49ers packaged more picks for a trade up, maybe even packaging picks higher up in the draft to move up in the draft to grab an offensive tackle. Because again, you've got 11 draft picks, and I project 45 of these players already are 53-man roster guys. Now, of course, some guys can get bumped out based on who you draft and who you sign moving forward. Eric Armstead, if and when he is released, would open up a spot as well, but you could still see a little bit of a numbers crunch. As far as the financial impact here of Maliek Collins joining the 49ers, we're going to assume right now that the 49ers are simply inheriting his contract. This is what the contract looks like. You have, I'm going to make sure you could see all of it. There you go. You have Maliek Collins not only under contract through this season, but he's under contract through 2025 through his age 30 season. So they've got a guy on the right side of 30. He's got a base salary of $8 million this year, $6 million of which is fully guaranteed. So this column right here doesn't matter. This is the signing bonus. This is what the Texans have already paid Maliek Collins. So that signing bonus goes to Houston's dead money. If Houston is taking on $10 million of dead money here, $3.47 million of savings. The 49ers, assuming they're just inheriting this contract straight up, are taking on $8 million of base salary and then $500,000 in per game roster bonus money. So the per game roster bonus money, that's divided up by 17 weeks. So every single week that Maliek Collins goes out there, he's incentivized to earn a chunk of that $500,000. This is another durable player. He played in 16 of 17 possible games last year in the regular season for Houston. So most of that per game roster bonus money is likely to be earned. Based on my calculations, his cap hit with the 49ers, it was $13.47 million with the Texans. His cap hit's going to be about $8.47 million with the San Francisco 49ers. So, Eric Armstead is scheduled to play at a base salary of $17.4 million, and with the per game bonus money, about $18 million would be how much the 49ers would owe him, or any team that inherits the contract would owe him in 2024. The 49ers have been wanting to get more cost efficient at that defensive tackle spot with Eric Armstead. We don't know exactly how big of a pay cut they asked him to take, but I think this is a decent reference point. Maliek Collins is going to be making $8.47 million likely to be earned from the 49ers this season. That's about $10 million lower than Eric Armstead's number. So I would venture to guess that they probably asked Eric Armstead to take a pay cut of about $10 million, right around that $8-9 million range. That makes a whole lot of sense. Instead, they get Maliek Collins at that number, and it only cost them a 7th-round draft pick that, let's be honest, the 49ers, they've got too many draft picks for how many players can make this 53-man roster. So they've effectively made the defensive tackle position more cost-efficient. For all of the people that were crying about the 49ers moves, what you're seeing here is moves at the margins that are making the football team stronger on a cost-efficient basis, allowing them and positioning them to potentially take a big swing. And a big swing could be somebody like Joey Bosa. We talk about the durability of somebody like Leonard Floyd, the durability of Jordan Elliott. Neither of those two guys has missed a game. Elliott hasn't missed a game at all in the NFL. Floyd hasn't missed one since 2017. The durability of Yetur Gross-Matos, the durability of Maliek Collins. 49ers have some high floor guys. Eric Armstead obviously missed 13 games of the past 2 seasons, so his floor had gotten lower with the plantar fasciitis. So you've got high floor guys that might set the table for a bigger swing moving forward. This is the 49ers defensive line restock, and we do have some game tape of Maliek Collins that we could watch, including a clip of him beating Joel Bitonio, a really good left guard for the Cleveland Browns. Mike sent me a couple things, so we're going to open both of them up. We're going to take a look at Maliek Collins, who is number 12 in that ESPN pass rush win rate. Really good stuff from him statistically so far this year. And we could first take a look at Collins against Joel Bitonio. I believe this is from the playoff game against the Browns. Collins wore number 96 for the Houston Texans, and you'll see it right here. He's working against Bitonio, 75, the left guard. And that's a hustle sack. Look, he even dives over one of his teammates there to help finish the job off. We're going to take a look at one more here. I could play that one more time. Let me get this second clip up. But Collins, good pass rusher. We know this. And the second clip, I'm seeing it for the first time. Ooh, the spin move. And that's going to lead to an interception. So this is quick release from Dak Prescott. But Collins definitely affects this throw working against right guard. So he can rush against both sides. He's at the quarterback in a big-time hurry. You could see he wins this rep in less than 2.5 seconds. That counts as a win in ESPN's pass rush win rate. And this is where Collins ranked number 12 this past season. He had 48 pressures and 5 sacks, which are good numbers for a defensive tackle. If you wanted to finish watching this clip again, where he is able to win with effort, which I think is really important. I mean, the 49ers had effort issues with Chase Young last year. Guys that win with effort, you need them on your defensive line, especially if you're going to pair them with somebody like like Nick Bosa. A little Freudian slip there. Especially if you pair them with somebody like Nick Bosa, you know that Nick is going to cause a whole heck of a lot of chaos from his edge rushing spot right here. Leonard Floyd is a good cleanup guy. I mean, he's got a high motor, and cleanup sacks aren't something that happen luckily. Cleanup sacks are something that happen when you have that motor, when you have that feel for chaos. Hargrave and Bosa, I think, create plenty of chaos on their own. You want guys who play with a type of intense hair-on-fire motor that is able to take the chaos and deliver sack production. So Leonard Floyd has delivered 10 sacks a season for the past 4 seasons. Maliek Collins is coming off his most productive season as a pass rusher with 48 pressures and 5 sacks. You want that kind of stuff to be able to work as a team, right? You want that. Those cleanup traits are so important next to dominant win traits. And Nick Bosa has dominant win traits. Javon Hargrave has dominant win traits. That's how you form a pass rush unit that rushes as a team, rushes as a full unit. Obviously, too, you need the depth. And they had Javon Kinlaw playing well last year, especially better as the season progressed. But it looks like they're going to be able to pick up Jordan Elliott at a relative discount to that. And Yetur Gross-Matos, well, he could be one of those rotational defensive ends who can also slide inside, just like an Arden Key in the past, just like an Eric Armstead in the past. When Armstead used to play on the edge, he can be versatile and slide inside on some of those pass rushing situations. The only intelligent way to look at a defensive front is to look at it in terms of the top 8 rotation. You can't just look at one guy like Bosa or one guy like Hargrave or Maliek Collins and Leonard Floyd. You have to look at all 8 because Chris Kacerek wants everybody rushing fresh and in waves. So that is the trade for the San Francisco 49ers. Big news, and I don't think that they're done yet. I absolutely do not think that they're going to be done yet. We are in a position right now. We're waiting to see what the Chargers do because we can't report on this without knowing who all is going to be hitting the market. Is it going to be Joey Bosa? Is it going to be Khalil Mack? Do the Chargers release or trade them today, or do they wait? Because for Joey Bosa's contract, if they do release it to be eligible for a post-June 1st designation so the Chargers can save cap money, he actually has to be on the team, just like Eric Armstead has to be on the 49ers through the start of the new league year. So when you look at that, that means he's got to be on the roster at 1 p.m. Pacific time today. But the Chargers also need to clear their cap space by 1 p.m. today. So are they going to clear the cap space to become cap compliant? I think they've got 25 to 28 million they need to clear. Are they going to do that by releasing Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack? Or are they going to restructure Justin Herbert? Or are going to do it through another avenue so they could keep these guys on the roster so they're at least Joey Bosa is eligible for that post June 1st release? The ultimate deadline for the Chargers is Saturday. Because on Saturday, Joey Bosa is owed a $7 million roster bonus. Khalil Mack is owed a $5.5 million roster bonus on Saturday. So Jim Harbaugh doesn't want these guys on his team. He's not going to want them around on Saturday because that's when the Chargers would have to pay them some money. It would be a colossal waste of money to release or trade them after that. So everything is heating up because of these deadlines right now. But the 49ers, in the meantime, have solved the defensive tackle issue by picking up 2 of them over the course of the past 24 hours. Jordan Elliott yesterday, and now Maliek Collins of the Texans today. Good stuff from the 49ers. Really interesting team building stuff. And hopefully I'm breaking it down as simply as possible for you. Again, $10 million cheaper than Eric Armstead would have been this year. That's what the 49ers were looking for. They were looking for that cost efficiency at the defensive tackle position. Maliek Collins entered the league as a 3rd-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys in 2016. Went to the Raiders in 2020. Didn't have a great year with the Raiders, and has been with Houston after signing a bigger contract since 2021. Houston was a 1-year deal in 2021, and then he signed a 2-year extension in 2022 before signing another extension in 2023 that has put him under contract through 2025. So Houston has kept on giving this guy new contracts, which means they've liked what they've seen from Maliek Collins as far as being a pass rusher, decent at stopping the run. I think that the 49ers are more pass rush oriented. They rely on their linebackers a lot, and I think they're going to be relying more than they did with Steve Wilks as their defensive coordinator on those linebackers. So, it's time for me to tweet. I haven't tweeted here in a few minutes. So we don't know. The 49ers might not be done. I could keep on hinting at this for you. I could keep on putting that at the bottom of the screen, but we'll keep the actual news right here. The 49ers are winning in terms of cost efficiency. That's really the tweet that I want to put out there. Because, it's very clear what the 49ers are gunning for right now. Asking Armstead to take a pay cut because they didn't think that he had a cost-efficient contract, going and filling the margins with cost-efficient contracts. We're waiting for the final numbers, so we know the cap hits of these deals. But we know the numbers of the Maliek Collins deal because Maliek Collins had an existing contract and the 49ers traded with the Texans for him. So I'm working on the Twitter machine right now. Why don't some of you get your questions ready, and then I'll answer them here in a couple minutes. I could put up the Q&A sign. Maybe Mike can even put it in the chat section. I want to craft a good tweet right now, though. This is the fun of this free agency period with 2.5 hours left before the new league year officially starts and these contracts can become official. You guys can sit here and watch me work. I know you've liked doing that in the past. I don't understand why, but that's what we're doing right now. Maliek Collins had an 11.1% pressure rate last year. He played more pass rushing snaps than Eric Armstead. I'm just getting some stats here from Mike. I think he's quote tweeting Kyle Posey, who's putting up some of these stats. So this is an Armstead replacement for the 49ers. That's for sure. And the 49ers are getting this at $10 million cheaper. The 49ers are showcasing real cost efficiency so far in free agency. Maliek Collins will cost them about $10 million less than Eric Armstead this season. And SF's emphasis on durability is also very apparent in this trade. Collins played in 16 of 17 games last season. Both floor and ceiling are important to the 49ers. Boom. There's the tweet. Now I'm ready for 49ers Q&A. You want me to redo my roster spreadsheet? Why do you want me to redo my roster spreadsheet? I think it looks fine. James says if they don't protect Purdy, all of these defensive players won't mean much. Well, I think that you're missing the link here, though. If you could deliver cost efficiently in free agency to restock the defensive line, which is really important as well, then you have more free swings in the draft to improve the offensive line. And the NFL, they're more capable defensive linemen, more capable and available defensive linemen than offensive linemen. I talked about it yesterday. Defensive linemen, the proliferation of talent at that position has exceeded the proliferation of talent along the offensive line. So it's a simple marketplace thing. The supply is greater on D line. So you can go out and get D line at cheaper prices, and then you could save your draft swings for the offensive line. It's simple business 101, right? The 49ers are not going to the oversaturated marketplace. I think it's a very, very simple strategy, and I think that it has the potential to treat the 49ers really well. Mike is trolling, but Mike is setting me up, so it's good. How can the 49ers afford all these guys? Well, the thing is, they don't cost that much. So we can go to my roster sheet right here and illustrate. I've got so many windows open. This is really wild at this point. But you got to do what you got to do, right? Let's go to the roster builder. Hopefully you've been using this over the past few days. So Armstead, I think they're going to cut him or trade him. I'm in Nashville right now, and the Titans are interested in Eric Armstead. Rand Carthon, former 49er. So assuming Armstead is gone, I've checked the box. They've got another spot. We're going to add, well, we're going to have to manually add Maliek Collins to this mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cancel this right here. Boom. We're going to delete that. All right. So we're just going to manually add Maliek Collins. We already know what his cap hit is going to be, $8.47 million. That's what I calculated myself. So the 49ers now on the 53-man salary cap have 45 of 53 spots taken. And I haven't put Jordan Elliott in there yet either. So we're going to put, I have to make Jordan Elliott an option. So we'll put Elliott in there, but that will be 46 of 63 spots taken. Obviously, Eric Kendricks too. They're going to have to clear up some cap space, basically, because I haven't put any of these guys in here yet. I think that when you look at Eric Kendricks, it's probably going to be somewhere between 3 and 5 million. So we're going to add him here. We're going to add Jordan Elliott there. We've added Maliek Collins. 49ers will have 47 of 53 spots taken, and they're going to be right at the cap. And this is the 53-man cap if you're projecting out to September. So other restructures you can run, Christian McCaffrey, that'll open up enough space to get that job done. You can extend Brandon Ayuk. And remember that if you do post June 1st designate Eric Armstead, then you can cut this dead cap hit from 25.9 million to 10 million for 2024. But the 15 million in savings that I just talked about won't become available until after June 1st. So the 49ers, there's several ways to play financial Tetris right now. It's going to be fascinating to see how the 49ers do it. This doesn't really come into play until the 53-man roster comes out. And that 53-man roster is going to come out in late August, early September. In the offseason, only the top 51 count against the cap. And I think the 49ers are pretty damn close to having to make another restructure if they're not already there yet, because I think they only had 6 million and change. So they're probably going to have to make another move financially so that they are cap compliant before the start of the new league year, which is in 2.5 hours. So there's your guesstimate of the 49ers cap space at the moment. But they have plenty of restructuring capabilities. They're not in cap hell like the Chargers. Cap hell means you have to cut guys to get into cap compliance, cut guys who are productive to get into cap compliance. 49ers aren't in that spot. They've kept this more sustainable than a team like the Chargers. 49ers like Zakel at both guard and center. Sometimes you try to keep those interior positions interchangeable. Updates on Kyle Juszczyk's contract. The 49ers' reason to cut his pay is because they're in a financial bind. Juszczyk has been very dependable and versatile. The reason that you ask Juszczyk is that he's way ahead of the other fullbacks in terms of average per year. And you say, hey, can we cut $1 million off of this? You'll still be the number 1 ranked fullback. We need every million we can get to keep this sustainable so we don't have to turn into the Chargers. So they're asking Kyle Juszczyk to be a team player. He can say no. And I think that he's got leverage in this situation to say no. I don't think the 49ers want life without Kyle Juszczyk. I think that they would keep him. But Kyle Juszczyk also wants to win a Super Bowl, right? Kyle Juszczyk also wants to keep this as sustainable as possible. It is in his interest to do that as well. So those negotiations are ongoing. The 49ers, up to $98 million through restructures is possible, but you're not saving $98 million. You are clearing $98 million of space, but you're pushing the cap charges into future years. So we need to quit saying that they can save $98 million. We need to say that they can open up $98 million, but you got to pay it at some point. At some point, the sink is going to overflow. You can't have too many expenditures in 1 year. At some point, you can't run away from those charges. So it's about being smart. You can never take advantage of all 98 million of restructures because you will hit a point where you have to cut guys where restructures won't work anymore if you go at it that aggressively. So yes, they could put everything in on this season and theoretically do that, but that's not how they're going to operate. They're going to open up just enough so they can operate in this 2024 season. Those of you just joining us, the 49ers have traded for Maliek Collins. The 49ers have also given us a nocturnal update. They signed linebacker Eric Kendricks to help fortify the position while Dre Greenlaw is hurt, former All-Pro Eric Kendricks. I'm in Nashville. Eric Armstead is interested, and the Titans are interested in him, and he's still on the roster right now, but Maliek Collins has probably taken Eric Armstead's place. This is the trade the 49ers have made. Here you can see they technically now have 3 defensive tackles on the roster in the top 12 of ESPN's pass rush win rate. Hargrave, Armstead, and Collins. No news so far on anything out of the Chargers and who might be leaving there and how the Chargers might be operating around the start of the new league year. But again, we still have 2.5 hours before that happens. If we want to go through some of my reporting from today, obviously I was up early. It was 3 a.m. when Kendrick signed. I was up a couple hours after that. But the 49ers have Eric Armstead's replacement and Maliek Collins, and they have Jordan Elliott aboard as Javon Kinlaw's replacement. It's probably worth it to put this up there for you. I think you could really see with the teal, with the new players, where the 49ers have been concentrating their efforts. In fact, I got to take a screenshot of this. This is too good visually, right? Like you could really tell what the 49ers are up to with the visual representation. It's something that I've got to tweet right now. Look at the work the 49ers have been concentrating into their defensive line. Teal represents new addition. Biggest turnover in that position group since of the Shanahan-Lynch era and SF really might not be done. Remarkable stuff. Talking about Joey Bosa right now, as you guys can take a look at that roster. Get some of your questions up there. I'm going to rejoin the question section in a second. We'll put 49ers Q&A up on the screen as the 49ers have traded for Maliek Collins. All right, I'm hopping into that comment section right now. Is Maliek Collins more of a pass rusher or a run stopper? He's more of a pass rusher. He's number 12 in ESPN's pass rush win rate. 48 pressures, 5 sacks last year. What about paying Ayuk? Well, that will save the 49ers 2024 cap space because they can backload the deal. I think they fully intend to do that, but they don't have to worry about that right now, unless that can get them under the cap right now, and that's something that Ayuk is willing to do right now. But typically in these negotiations, they've stretched out a little bit, right? These are things that we've talked about later in the offseason for the 49ers A-list negotiations. So I'm just following what happened and what has happened in past seasons. Mike points out that DJ Jones' cap hit, which is what, about 10 million this year, is higher than Maliek Collins. DJ Jones, the former 49er, is with the Broncos, and Collins is a better defensive tackle. That's a good way to see it. It doesn't seem that Denver is going to cut DJ Jones anymore. I think we have somebody commenting that. The last I've seen, they're probably going to keep him this season. Steve thinks that Collins is really good against the run. I haven't had a chance to watch too much Maliek Collins yet. I showed you a couple of the pass rushing clips a little bit earlier in the show. We know that he's a good pass rusher. We know the metrics are there. So I'm not going to lie to you. He's not on the top of any run stopping leaderboards, but I'm going to have to watch the tape to make a firmer judgment on his run stopping ability. I remember the 49ers playing against this guy a couple years ago in 2021. Went to Nebraska. Like I said, third round pick of the Cowboys. But as far as run stopping ability, I don't like to speak on stuff that I haven't fully watched. I'm going to text Greg Papa right now. The run defense grades, if we want to just go by that, and I know that there's a lot of controversy here. The run defense grades for Maliek Collins in his career have not been great. The pass rush grades have been really good. He matched his career high with 48 pressures this past year. Had those 5 sacks. That was, I think he might have had 6 in 2016 as a rookie with Dallas, but pressures mean more than sacks. The run defense grades haven't been as good. What I will say, though, is that Jordan Elliott's run defense grades weren't great with the Browns, but Jordan Elliott was a top 5 guy in terms of run stop win rate. So grades are probably more subjective than ESPN's win rates, because win rates actually looking at how, charting the percentage of times that a guy is beating a block and making a tackle, whereas grades, I think, are going to be more subjective. So I would caution against just looking at Maliek Collins' grades, because I think PFF is going to be really scheme dependent in what they're looking for. And some schemes are asking for different things from different players. So always keep an open mind when you're looking at grades and wait to watch the tape. We'll have some run defense tape in the future. Did Kyle Juszczyk restructure? Somebody saying? The 49ers have reached an agreement with Kyle Juszczyk. We're going to talk about this now, then I'm going to sign off to write a little bit. 49ers and Pro Bowl fullback Kyle Juszczyk reached agreement on a restructured contract that will free up about $1.75 million against San Francisco's salary cap. So Kyle Juszczyk has indeed done done right by the team. You could say that. It sounds like he has taken a pay cut. So I will explain what this pay cut probably looks like to you, and then I'm going to run, okay? Because I love you guys. So I'm putting in some overtime work right now, but I'm going to grab this, put Kyle Juszczyk's contract up on the screen, complete with a United Airlines advertisement. That's funny. Let me find it, though. Got to get this one here. So here you go. There's Kyle Juszczyk's contract and over the cap. And 49ers. According to Adam Schefter, the 49ers will free up about $1.75 million against the salary cap. So if you look at Juszczyk's, I think that they lowered Kyle Juszczyk's base salary from $5.75 million. I'm going to guess they lowered this base salary right here in 2024 from $5.75 million to $4 million. That's going to be my guess. I think it was a simple pay cut from $5.75 million to $4 million. None of this was guaranteed, so you're able to just lop off that $1.75 million, because let me show you something else. Fullbacks over the cap, contracts and salaries. Let's get to the right position. If you look at average per year of fullbacks, and this is from over the cap, take a look to see the top of the position. Kyle Juszczyk at $5.4 million per year. Alec Ingold at $4.066 million per year. And if you go to Ingold's actual contract with the Miami Dolphins, then you could see his base salary if it does open for me. But I'm assuming that Kyle Juszczyk's base salary is going to be higher than Alec Ingold's, because Ingold's number obviously includes a signing bonus. And I think just by lopping off $1.75 million for the 49ers, you have actually kept him as the number one fullback in the NFL. Unfortunately, it's not opening for me, which is very frustrating, because I want to give you guys the information right now. But I think that over the cap is probably overwhelmed at the moment with a new league year about to start. So $1.75 million freed up for the 49ers. We can adjust our salary cap sheet right now as well. I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go to the 2024 roster builder. And we're going to take Kyle Juszczyk's number at 7.59 million minus 1.75. It's going to be 5.84 million now. And as you could tell, the 49ers are right up against the cap. We haven't recorded all the moves yet. You can see the 2.14 million. So this is going to update now, or it should. There it goes. It updates to 3.89 million. So they have a little bit more space to round out their moves. Maybe we see yet another move, another restructure so the 49ers could fit under. They have to fit under in about 2 hours at the start of the new league year. So Kyle Juszczyk, team player, takes a pay cut. And the 49ers are plowing forward here toward the new league year. They've also traded for a new contract, defensive tackle Maliek Collins. So this is some elite team building happening. The 49ers, 7th-round pick to Houston, defensive tackle back. Eric Armstead might be in his final few hours with the football team. They've got to carry him to the new league year so they can post-June 1st designate him if that's the way they're going to try to handle that $25.9 million of dead money. Kyle Juszczyk and the 49ers restructure the contract, and hey, maybe a signing of Joey Bosa is next. Who knows? It gets wild in these parts. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. Hopefully I explained everything, and I'll keep you very, very updated moving forward.